gentlemen, and welcome to Showtime at the British. I'm Linton Garner, your MC for the evening. We'll be featuring the musical stylings of Andrew Cassara and The Pulse, as well as a feature interview with Steve Wilcox, a local comic and landscape artist. So stay tuned. Welcome to the Gold Room of the British Hotel. Tonight we're starting a series on local artists. Each month we're going to feature a vernissage of a painter, a sculptor, or some other kind of performance artist other than what we've seen on the stage up to now on our show. Tonight we're starting with Mr. Steve Coffin. He's a local artist. He does portraits, he does landscapes, and comic books, which we'll hear more about a little bit later. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you for being with us here. Now, you're a local artist here. How long have you been in this community?
We moved to Canada in 2000, and we moved to Aylmer in about 2004, 2005. Yeah.
And you came from where?
Originally from the UK.
Right.
Yeah, lived in a town called Portsmouth, which is
a little small seaside town.
It's quite big. It's basically where the Navy live in the UK.
All right.
Yeah.
Now we want to talk more about your art.
Okay.
All right. We talked about the art that's right here, landscape art. We also talked about comic books.
Yes.
When did you really start writing comic books or drawing comics?
I've been drawing comic books since I was about 5 years old. I used to draw in little notebooks that you buy at the corner store.
Right.
And thousands of those that I filled up with little stories and my own characters, other people's characters, telling my own stories and stuff like that.
What interested you about comics?
I like the visual storytelling. As a kid, the first thing that I really got into reading-wise was the Asterix books.
Right.
And the English translations, obviously. And they, I don't know, really inspired me, yeah.
They inspired you to draw,
Yeah.
or took you on adventures? Is that what you wanted to
Exactly,
portray?
yeah, totally. I love the storytelling technique of like the comic book, and I've recently been doing comic strips, which is it's a lot shorter because it's only the 3 panels, but you can tell a lot of story in the 3 panels.
In the three panels.
Yeah.
So what made you then go to landscape art like we see here?
Well, I studied art at college in the UK, and that's where I moved over into like the more traditional kind of stuff. I was always criticized by people. They said my art looked very cartoony, and I just kind of tried to like throw that off over the years, and then I got to a point where I'm like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to embrace it, and I do have a kind of stylized kind of look to what I paint,
So all of your paintings are sort of in nature versus, or naturescapes versus urbanscapes?
Yeah, I've painted a lot of like in the woods and along the shoreline of like the Ottawa River and in Aylmer. I've done some of the local buildings, like I did a few of the Hotel British and the cafe.
Right. And so most of your art is local, featuring local scenes.
Yeah, for sure. Like
now, I understand that you have some books here. We've got just a little bit of time left here. Why don't you tell us what those comic books are about?
Sure. This is the comic book. It's about Derek the cat, and it was an idea that came to me in a dream. I had this cat in this dream, and when you go and say hi to a cat, you let them smell your hand, and the cat in my dream, it stuck its tongue out and blew a raspberry at me, and I'm like, oh God, that's really good. And this needs to be a book or something.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Well, only in an artist's mind would, would that come about. Well, listen, we want to thank you very much. You're going to be kicking off the vernissages here.
Yes.
Couldn't think of a better artist to begin with the 2 forms of art. You're also going to be at Comic-Con, which is coming up soon here in Ottawa.
Yes.
We're going to wish you the best of luck there, and thank you for being here to kick off our series.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
just wants to be. But you can't take the heat. I feel out soon. It's love in there. You know how I'm feeling, but you just don't keep on saying all these things. You know the thing about me, throwing shade on me. Yeah, won't get you closer to me. Come on, say what you want about me, about me, about me. 'Cause I keep on doing my thing, my thing, my thing. 'Cause I'm my fever, 'cause I'm my fever. Say what you want about me, about me, about me. Come on, say why you got to be so cool, so lonely. Is loving there? It's not fair. I know what you feel, but I just don't say all those things. You know that thing on me, throwing shit on me. Won't get you closer to me. Go, baby's at her control. The truth, but it's not control. Won't get you closer to me. Say what you want about me, about me, about me. 'Cause I keep on doing my thing, my thing, my thing. Ooh, say what you want about me. I got me. Say what you want, you know nothing about me. Doing shit, say what you want about me. Thank you. She got the magic. That's something that makes me feel good. I don't know she's being real. I should. She thinks she's got me real good. Yeah. Oh, so good. Yeah. Break down. Every time she tries to pull it back. But I won't fall for that. So she steps up. And she goes to this. Come back to my flight. I'm magic. You lost. So I won't do this. And I do that. I got the magic. I makes you stay inside. If it's not, I know it's not. Oh, it's not. But I back down. Every time she tries to pull it away. But I'm good for that. So she steps up. Here she goes with this. I'm up down. Just gonna trip it. Come back to my flight. You lost that, so I'm too good, and I'm too mad. Money, 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 money. Come and get it, babe, get it, babe. Money, 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 money. Come and get it, babe. But I back down. Every time she tries to put the back. Money, money. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephany Crowley. I'd like to introduce you to Andrew Cassara and the Pulse. Andrew Cassara is a Canadian singer-songwriter who got his start in 2013 when he was discovered online. Andrew, you started in 2017, 2018, you started doing a lot of music festivals, including the
Yes.
Ottawa Blues Fest.
Right, yeah.
And then you quickly went international in Sweden and in Korea. What was that like? Was it like a culture shock?
It was a pretty surreal experience. I think Korea was more of a culture shock for me. It was just so different, but the people were so welcoming, and the music was amazing, and we had so much fun in Korea. And Sweden was a little bit more kind of like back home here in Canada, but we had such a great time, and we were really thankful to have the opportunities to go there, and it was so much fun.
You know, it doesn't surprise me that your music is popular in Korea or becoming popular in Korea because I'm a huge fan of K-pop, and
Me
I
too.
feel like your music, when I listen to it, is like you wrap up all the best boy bands, throw in a little K-pop and a little techno pop, and you wrap it all up together, and that you've created this amazing new style.
Thank you.
Where did you get your start? Like, where did that inspiration come from?
Well, the inspiration really, I think this past year or two have been really into kind of like disco and funk. And I've been listening to, a lot of Bee Gees, Aretha Franklin, all these legendary musicians. And I really wanted to incorporate kind of like this new style. I mean, it's not new, of course, disco and funk, but it's not really much of the music today, especially in mainstream music. So I was so interested. I wanted to kind of fuse it together and make kind of like a power pop, a little bit of flavor of funk, disco, some rock as well.
Nice.
So that's kind of like how it came to be, I guess, our new style, I guess. Yeah.
That's great. I'm here with Andy Vasquez, who plays bass for The Pulse. Andy, you've got an interesting story about how you came to be with the band. Tell us how that happened.
Yeah, so basically how I got into the band was kind of serendipitous and came out of nowhere. So I was at a park kind of late at night with a friend, and it was misty, and we were going there. It kind of seemed like the beginning of a scary movie. And as we were there, we met up with a couple who we didn't even know, and they're like, yeah, we'll take pictures of you, you take pictures of us, we'll exchange pictures afterwards. And we're like, yeah, sure, no problem. And after just making casual conversation, one of the guys told me he was there in Ottawa he had just joined a band, and I told him I played bass in Toronto, where I'm from, just to see like if we could jam at some point. And his jaw dropped when I told him I played bass. He was like, we just fired our bassist like last week. Wow. Do you want to play with us? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. And then I met with their manager a week later, and the rest is history, and here we are now.
Wow. That's a pretty meteoric start. Now, you've got 15 songs already recorded approximately, and you're planning a new release very soon. Tell us about that.
So next March in 2020, we'll be releasing a debut album. So I'm really excited to release that, kind of going along the new style, with the pop, the funk, the disco that I'm really passionate about lately. So I'm really excited to release this new record, and it'll be available March 2020.
And then you have plans to break into the Canadian market and hopefully do some touring in Canada?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I love touring internationally, and I absolutely love, visiting all these countries and learning about all these cultures. But, I'm a Canadian boy, so, it's in my heart. I'm Canada, so I'm really looking forward to, coming home and performing shows and going on tour. So I'm looking forward to meeting all the fans in Canada. Yeah.
Well, I'm a fan. Now.
Thank you.
And,
I'm a fan of you too.
Oh, gee, thanks. And we're looking forward to seeing some more right here on Showtime at the British. Stay tuned.
I've been thinking about you all my life. He's been thinking about you all this time I was wrong. What I thought was love wasn't feel the game. Oh, so clever of you, girl. I've been thinking about you all my life. If it's convenient for him, I'll start. You're fucking with my heart. I don't think so, love. Break it down for you, girl. Hey, look the way that we dance. I'm just your option, girl. Now that my arms are around you, don't control, so you only the mess. I said so. to give a fight, but us surprise they call. You're fucking with my heart. I don't think so, love. I break it down for you, girl. Whatever I want to leave, it's never your fault, it's me. Whatever I want, no matter I'm just a piece. So what's stopping me? This ain't loving me. Every time that I try, it's the memory, yeah. Not enough the way that we pass. Well, I'm just your option, now that my arms are around you, don't control so you. Don't dare join me. 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 Hey, I don't feel the same now that I can't stop today. Respect that I should claim. Yeah, I don't feel the same now that with myself today. Dancing on away, yeah. Yeah, if you wanna get down, let me out breath. You ready to scream with us? Say yeah. Say yeah. If you wanna get down, let's break it down. Hit me up once and now you think I'm down for your love, down for your love. Hit me up twice and now you think we're back in it now, back in it now. You see what's something special. You threw your shot and now we're long and gone, 'cause I'm dancing by your. Music now, time to forget. Losing sleep, make my way down the hallway. Then just like that, oh my God, so hot. Oh no, this beat is got me sick of this never. Then I caught a glimpse of you, that acting from every view. Right there with your friends, but I know so well. I can't live for one thing, just as well as action lanes. Now you get me on some time lust. Our eyes are locked, temptation is cascade. I can so awesome moment I can't say. Come back with me, baby, go to the floor, baby, show me your move, baby, do what you do, baby, cool. Just get up and dance like a fool. So come back and dance, show me your moves. Let's get down tonight. Anything in my seat, gotta go. I'll have that we blow this joint now. We can head to this place that I know for a drink. All I wanna do is treat right, yeah. Then I caught a glimpse of you, better than from every view. Right there with your friends, right there with your friends. You walking one thing, that's where beside your lanes. Now you get me on, yeah, get me on. Our eyes are locked. one. Wow! Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, ha, 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 let's do it, get on it, ha, 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 let's do it, let's do it, ha, 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 let's do it, get on it, ha, come back, baby, show me the move, baby, do what you do, baby, I'm just scared, dance. Show me your moves, let's get down tonight. Dance, dance, so you got to the beat. Dance, dance, dance. Oh, I know you brought me back, back. Dance, dance, dance. Get your feet on the beat. Dance, dance, dance. Got your feet back, back, back for me. When I get lost in my feet, they leave. I know that everything's wild when I do. When I get lost in my feet, I'll be so in tonight. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, you really lit. Why don't you dance? Don't need to tell anybody that they got to do. Let's get lost in our feet and dance through the night. Yeah. And when I pick the phone up, that don't mean I'll get you there. Dance, dance, so you got to the beat. Dance, dance, dance. Oh, I know it brought me back, back. Dance, dance, dance. Get your feet on the beat. Dance, dance, dance. Got your feet back, back, back for me. I feel the tension in the body, so you dance too. So I'm just picking up, baby, after I leave. Let's get lost in our feet and dance through the night. Yeah. When I look into your eyes, when strangers there's a fire. So the road that you take there, I'm running in there.
I want to thank you for being with us tonight. I want to thank Andrew Cassara and the Pulse. Join us next week right here at the British Hotel for Showtime at the British.